up there so fast. So welcome, Joe. It's so nice to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. And first of all, congratulations. It's so lovely to have you on the team. I've known you for a wee while now, and I've wanted to bring you into the fold and have you as one of our trainers because you are so awesome. And so, yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for accepting and being our lead trainer.
I'm looking forward to it. I have a very big teacher part in me that is desperate and loves running workshops that I do myself. So I'm really looking forward to letting that part out the weekend.
Yeah. We've got quite similar backgrounds because I came from teaching and you come from training. So I think going through working as a hypnotherapist is sometimes, we love the work and we love working with people one-to-one, but there is that kind of part of us that just wants to get out there and do some teaching and training. And teaching for me is quite a different thing. It's not, telling people what I know. It's very much allowing people to have that experience of learning, and that makes me light up inside. But anyway, this is all about you today, Joe. So I'm going to be asking you some questions and finding out all about your story and what's brought you to be training on the course with us now. So I'd really love for you to start with telling us a little bit about what brought you to hypnotherapy. What was it that?
Well, it was a bit of very much a very personal journey, which wasn't, as a lot of the changes in our lives that happen, right? Didn't actually always start in a fabulous place. So we moved over to New Zealand back in 2015. And previously I'd been working as customer experience manager, as well as doing training and coaching. That was obviously part of my role. We moved over here in 2015. I'd been with that company in the UK for 10 years. And then proceeded to have like 5 companies that I worked for in this country in 5 years because I was just having not the greatest of experiences. I went through a stage when I was really, really struggling with anxiety myself, to the point where I didn't want to get out of bed in the morning, just want to pull the cover over my head. And finally, I was being invalidated by the doctors telling me there's nothing wrong with me. The blood tests were all normal. And I just felt like something was hideously wrong. Anyway, eventually I found someone who gave me some help and made a few changes and decided that I wanted to do, because I'd experienced myself such a dramatic change, I wanted to help other people to do that. So carried on working, but I did a health and life coaching course online through the Health Coach Institute, which was a 9-month one. So I completed that while still working. And I think I was just a little bit fed up with, for me, coaching and developing people and helping people to do what they want and be who they want was the most important part of my job. But for a lot of people in businesses and corporates, that's the first thing that goes because we're busy. And so it has to go by the wayside a little bit. So it got to the point where I was just like, okay, do I do this for myself? And I was quite lucky that I have a couple of friends who are coaches as well, who I sort of like had conversations with. And I remember we'd been on holiday. This is all just before COVID as well. So we went on holiday just after Christmas 2019. For 4 weeks over to America, and I was, in my mind, I was going to take that time to have a think about everything. I'd already spoken to my husband about it. He was on board-ish. He was kind of like, he was keen for me to do it, but obviously his concern was, well, I was working full-time in a well-paid job, so what were we going to do about the difference in income, sort of thing?
Yeah, I think a lot of people resonate with that kind of like feeling of jumping off the cliff into the unknown.
I think that's one of the biggest things. I don't know if anyone else resonates, if this is either something you've done or something you want to do, that's one of the biggest things that holds you back, right? Because I need to earn some money. And we very much needed my money. My money wasn't just a nice to have. We did very much need my money. So I remember,
you can start to hear those kind of limiting beliefs that are in the background.
Absolutely. And I think that fear that drives us around, and I think so many of us have money fears, right? We're brought up with, money doesn't grow on the trees and all those sort of sayings that get deeply installed in us. But anyway, so I had this conversation with a friend of mine, And I came out of it and I was like, yep, that's it. I'm handing my notice in.
Mm.
And I remember part of me was like, am I just doing this to make this friend happy as well? You know, it's kind of like, yes, I'm going to do it. And I remember ringing my husband as I left that lunch catch up and said, that's it, I'm handing my notice in tomorrow. And he was like, and I did. And I think I had to do it quickly because I think I would have talked myself out of it again. Now, this was February 2020. So COVID was just starting to bubble around, but I don't think any of us had any idea what was going to happen. So I handed my notice in. And then I ended up leaving the week before we went into the first lockdown. So
Wow.
I remember somebody saying to me, oh, you're going to stay now because of all this. And there was part of me that was like, oh, I probably could, couldn't I? And I thought, no. And I think one thing I want for me is that I always believed that I could make a success of a business. I just had no clue how.
Yeah.
You know, I think some people have the belief that people that set up their own business know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Could not have been further from the truth. I just knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, tell me a little bit more about the beliefs that allowed you to make that leap.
I think one that was, because obviously when I was doing the coaching course, it was a massive self-discovery journey, as the hypnotherapy is, which I then came to afterwards. It's a massive self-discovery. You're doing work on yourself all the time. And I think what I really, as I said, I knew on some level I was going to achieve this. But the belief for me that is the most powerful over anything else is that whatever happens, I'll be okay. If we all had that belief deep-seated within us, it would allow us to take those steps, because whatever happens, you'll be okay. And that's kind of the opposite of the belief that a lot of us have installed, right? We tell ourselves that we won't be okay. But if we dig down deep enough, what okay actually means to that survival part of our brain is that we'll be alive, that we'll be, do you know what I mean? So that deep-seated part it's survival. And that part of us believes that we won't survive, but we will. You know, every single person on this call, every single person in this world has been through so many challenges in their life, and they've got through every single one. Being okay doesn't mean there won't be challenges, right? It just means that you will be okay.
It's such an important thing, I think. And you kind of gave me goosebumps with that deep belief, because it is something that we can all kind of dig down underneath. And, you know, a lot of people will know my story with Jake being ill and, you know, going through all of that. And it's exactly the same belief. It's, you know, actually, whatever happens, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
And just it's a huge thing. And if you don't have that belief, to be able to install it and really, you know, resonate with it is a powerful thing that we can do with hypnosis.
Oh, absolutely. And so I left my job, and then, as I said, had no clue how to set this thing called a business up. I'd kind of thought of a name in that whilst I was still working and sort of like doing stuff. I was working with a couple of clients whilst I was still working very much in a coaching format. And I knew I wanted to do more. I knew I loved working on conscious level with coaching, but I knew I needed to go on. And I had a friend in the UK who had done hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
I actually had some sessions with her myself.
Oh, really? What did
Yeah.
you have sessions with? Like, about what? You don't have to share, but
Oh, yeah. And it was just around sort of self-esteem work and self-worth and stuff like that. First of all, she did this group one that I joined. And I remember, because I never really experienced it much before. And then it just piqued my interest, and I talked to her about it as well. And she was so passionate about it. Kind of like I caught the passion from her. And then I started looking, and that's when I came across the school. And I always remember, because it always makes me chuckle, that most people sign up for a weekend and then decide whether they want to do it. I just signed up for the whole course straight away.
If you know that that's what you want to do, though, and you've experienced it and you've had, you know, those experiences, I think, you know, it's such a, yeah, for me, it was like, I don't need to think about it. It's just what I want to do.
Absolutely. And I remember talking to Chris, because Christine did the first weekend that I did. And I remember talking to her and saying, oh my God, I love this. And like, I ended up, Christine mentored me for a while as well, because I was just like, I need some help setting up this business stuff. And, you know, for me, setting a business was sitting in front of a laptop, you know, during that first lockdown. I wish I could go back. Well, I've learned from it, that's for sure, because I was just worrying and stressing about how I was going to do this. As I say, I had that deep belief that I would work it out, that it would be a success, but it was like timeline. So a part of me was like, well, when? But yeah, and so it kind of just went from there, and loved it. And I remember saying to both Christine and Daryl, really early doors, I want to be teaching this one day, and here we are.
It's so exciting, isn't it? Because I don't know if you did the same thing as me, but very early on when I started doing, hypnotherapy and started thinking, how you do future pacing, and you start thinking about what it's going to look like and feel like, and, the experience of being in the future. I had an experience where I had this future experience of teaching, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. That'll be so cool. They'll mix everything that I love together in such a lovely way. If you think about now, that time when you were feeling really anxious, and you talked about having your head under the covers and not wanting to come out, can you talk to us a little bit more about that experience, and how that has kind of allowed you to work with people now on a deeper level?
Yeah, the one thing I get comments from a lot from clients, I mean, I work with people other than just anxiety, but a lot of people I work with, it's anxiety, maybe some depression, not severe depression, but sort of moderate to light depression, is that I know they get that I know how they feel. Obviously I don't exactly, because everyone's experience is different, but that I've been there. A lot of the clients I've worked with have said that they've worked with psychologists or counselors, and the thing that it was very much felt like they would textbook in it, if that makes sense. I know how to deal with this because I've been taught how to deal with this, as opposed to I've been there myself. So that was one thing. And I think for so many, and it might not be the case for everyone here, but for so many people, you end up working in an area where you've experienced something yourself. Yes. And I say, because you have, for me personally, I feel I have so much more to give in those instances, right?
Yeah, definitely. I've had the same experience with, working with parents of children who are going through cancer. So it's, if you've walked in the shoes, you can go, oh, I get that. I've been there. I know what it feels like, for me, and hopefully a little bit of what it feels like for you. But because hypnotherapy is so nice as a modality to, it's so flexible around fitting it around that unique person. That's why it's, such a wonderful thing.
And for me, one of the other reasons why the teaching part is really important for me too is it's all about impact, right? I am super, super passionate about helping people. I always say for my business, I say to people, I help you to find more happiness and freedom in your life. And that so many of us are walking around. I don't know if anyone's heard of Dr. Edith Eger. She has a quote that says, the prison is in your mind and the key is in your pocket. And that is so true. And so to me, hypnotherapy is one of those things that helps you to pick up that key and unlock it.
I love that.
And so that's why I want to be teaching too, because there are so many people out there that need our help. And if you're anything like me, that would, part of me would show up sometimes, would be like, well, everyone, there's so many people, how will I, they don't really need me. But, and I say this, I remember saying this in the marketing weekend I taught last year, is that there are people out there that if they don't hear it from you, they'll never hear it. So I think it's really important that there's space for everybody, and not everyone will want to work with me because I won't resonate with everyone. That's why everyone being slightly different and having their own unique qualities is so important. So if you have a little story in your mind that's saying, there's already so many people doing it, what can I add? There's always something, because you're the only you there is in this world. And so that's a really important thing to acknowledge.
Absolutely. And that, I love that you've kind of referenced that ripple effect of being able
Mm,
to, have effect on one person, and then they have an effect on somebody, and it just carries on. And you
absolutely.
don't know where your influence ends, or that little kind of spark of joy that you gave someone, where that finishes, and that blows my mind. It's so cool.
Oh, it's amazing.
If
Amazing.
you could go back and teach your younger self who was feeling anxious something, what would it be that you know now that she could have benefited from?
Um, I think it's just around that it's okay to be you, right? Because to me, that's what so much of our challenges and stresses and anxieties are caused for in life, is because we're trying to contort ourselves to fit into the normal box, right? Which is ludicrous when every single person on this planet is different. So how can there be a normal, right?
Exactly.
Um,
I've never met one.
no, exactly. And actually, all we do by doing that is dulling our light. And by embracing who we are, and letting our light shine, that makes a massive difference, not only to our own experience, but just like you're saying about the ripple effect, Sarah, right? If we all allowed our light to shine, we'd live in a completely different world. But the reason we live in the world we do is because so many people are trying to be who they think they should be. So I think I would say to her that just be you. It's okay. You are, and what I would say to her is what I help all my clients see now for themselves. Obviously, we're all
Mhm.
different, but yeah.
Oh, that would be so cool to be able to go back and do that for yourself. Eh? I always
Oh,
think about different times in my life when I would have needed, you know, um, not just like hypnotherapy techniques, but just knowledge, or just aha moments that you've had. You think, oh, if only I'd known that back then, that would be awesome.
yeah. It is, and isn't, and sometimes a little frustrated part can come up, right? Why did it take me till
Mm,
nearly 40
yeah.
to figure this out, right? But
Mhm.
actually, everyone's on their own journey, and I'm working with some clients now. Like I think my youngest client is like 14, and she came back after we had a session. It was 2 weeks between, and she was a bit of a perfectionist. She had to get 100% in her test, otherwise she would judge herself. And she didn't get the top mark. She got one below it. And she said, and I was okay with it. And I was like, how
Mm.
did that feel? She was like, oh my goodness, it was amazing. She
Mhm.
goes, I didn't think it was a wrong thing to think that, but I didn't realize how much pressure I was putting on myself. So, but everyone's different. I've got clients I'm working with in their 60s that are only just coming to this stuff. So
Yeah.
it's, again, it's that piece of acceptance that I am where I am. My life has been the way it has been, but I'm in control of how it is from now on.
Yeah. And I think that, when you do see clients, often it is that feeling of not having a choice, or not having options, or not having, you know, it's like, oh, I can only see this pathway. And hypnotherapy allows you to kind of open up those pathways and say, actually, you've got all of these different options, all of these different pathways. It's kind of limitless.
Oh, it is. And I think we tie ourselves in knots because we try to make, we put pressure on ourselves to make the right decision, or take the right path. And for me, there is no right path. There is no right decision. There's just decisions, right? Every single decision you make, or every single path you take, will have challenges, will have moments of joy and happiness and hard times. There's not one path you can take that's not going to have challenges and hard times. So for me, it's take the pressure off yourself by having to make the right decision, and instead check in and notice what feels right now for you.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to remember. And, connecting not just with our logical, conscious mind of what I think it should be feeling right now, but also what actually feels right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we all try to use this, right?
Yeah, we do.
Everything. And I'll sometimes say to clients about how does it feel? And they'll say, I think, and I'm like, no, not think. How does it feel? Because they automatically go, and you can tell like how somebody is, like whether they're kinesthetic and stuff as well, because they'll go straight to that I feel straight away. You don't have to prompt them. But so many of us are trying to make our decisions in life purely from our head. And that a lot of the time is what gets us into spirals, right? And rabbit holes.
Absolutely. And so for today, you're going to be sharing a little bit with us about how we can, I guess, install and uninstall beliefs that are installing ones that are useful and uninstalling ones that are not so useful. And can you tell us about a time when you've used this technique for yourself or for a client, and the effect they would have?
Yeah, so I normally do them as separately. So I'd normally do an uninstalling hypno, which I'd give to a client. I used this recently actually in my sisterhood, which is my group coaching program. And I remember the ladies coming back and going, "Oh my God, that's life changing. I love it. It's amazing." So we're uninstalling a belief that's maybe holding us back, but then we reinstall or install, should I say, a new belief, something that we want to believe, something that we know that if we just had that as a deep-seated belief, our experience in life would be completely different. I've done this myself in various different ways. One thing I did, and I did this in the marketing section last time I did it, and I'll be doing it again at the beginning of October, is because marketing's great, and obviously we need to know all the practicalities in that, but my thing with marketing is, what are your actual beliefs about you and setting up your business? And you need to have the right beliefs installed to be able to help yourself with that, right? So what I do with clients and what I did with my group coaching is I got them to write a belief statement, and then we took that into these hypnos that I'd recorded for them. But you can also take that into self-hypnosis, which is one thing I did a lot, was because the important part is feeling the feelings that creates within you, right? Because obviously the most powerful emotion wins. And if you're feeling really positive and excited and all that, it's going to help you to move forward and to set up your business or whatever it is that you wanted to move forward into.
Fantastic. That's so cool. Okay, well, I'm just going to let you take it away and lead us into this technique. And this, I guess it's a beliefs meditation, if you like, in a way.
Yeah. So before we start, I want you to all to think about a belief that you want to release, maybe something that you feel is holding you back a little bit, something that you maybe would be more than happy to not have installed anymore. If nothing's coming to mind to you, then don't worry, you can see what comes up when we go into hypno. Your subconscious will provide that.
It might be nice as well for people to type in if they want to share those beliefs. It might just, trigger other people to go, "Oh yeah, I've got that one too."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So feel free, before we go in, let's put down what a belief that you wish you didn't have anymore, something that you just would like to be gone, something that is not helping you in any way, shape or form. Maybe just pop that in the chat, have a little think. And it could be,
okay, I think everyone's got that one.
that I'm not good. Oh yeah, that's probably the one that's underneath everything else, right?
Yeah,
failure. Yep. That I need alcohol to have fun. Okay, yep. That was one I had too, and I managed to get rid of that one as well. I'm too old to do this. Yep, I had that too, as I say. I don't care about money. I lose motivation on the way. Yep. I just want to comment on that, Aria, that I lose motivation on the way one, right? Is that motivation comes and goes. And that's completely normal. That's human. I don't like the word normal. Human. It's completely human, right? So it's a case of, that's why installing these belief things are really powerful, because it allows you to be a little bit calmer and at ease when maybe motivation isn't there, because rest is really important. So maybe motivation isn't there because rest is what's important right now. Because if we were motivated 24/7, we'd burn out.
Could explode.
Absolutely. And that's something else I talk about in the marketing thing as well, is sustainability for your business, because you are your business, right? So yeah, that's a really important thing. Tend to ask too much myself. Yeah. And that's really, that resonates a lot with me when I say, when I was first starting out as well, it was like I had to do something all the time, every time. And but that's also because you're passionate about it too. And when you can slightly change the way in which you're looking at that, it can change things. I don't have the same energy as everyone else. No one has the same energy as anyone else. We're all different, right? I woke up this morning, I was meant to be going to the gym before I did all this, and I didn't because I was feeling exhausted. So I let that be okay. What do I have special compared to others? Oh, I love that. What do I have special compared to others? You have lots of, not compared to others. What is special about me? So much. No one else on this planet has the unique qualities that you, combination of qualities that you have, Tatiana. Fear of putting myself out there, fear of not getting it right. Okay, so there's some similar ones and there's some different ones, and that's great. So hopefully you've all got something, belief that you would like to uninstall, right? And then I'm going to ask you, what is a belief that you would like to install? What is a belief that if you had that so deep-seated within you that it was just natural, that would make your life so much easier? What would be the perfect one? Again, feel free to share them because somebody else might be struggling. If you're wondering what it could be, as I say, that one I said before, whatever happens, I'll be okay. That could be one if you're struggling to think of something or to put it into words.
And feel free to share those ones as well.
Yeah. Now is the time to be best me. Yeah. I'm determined to do this no matter what. Yes, I can do this. Absolutely. Step by step, I reach my goal 100%. That's the only way we reach the goal, right? We tell ourselves, I just want to be there. But then when you're there, you'll just want to be somewhere else. So we just appreciate the journey and the steps that we take each time. I'm not afraid to do it anyway. Yes. Oh, lots coming through now. Let me see. I know. I can nurture and be kind to myself. Yes. An abundance of money is very welcome in my life. Typing this brings discomfort. Oh, okay. Interesting. I say money ones they go deep. I think most people I know, most people I've worked with have the same things, like money doesn't grow. They were what's the word I'm looking for? They were just told that over and over again when they were little, right? Money doesn't grow on trees was like my in there. This is my dream. I'm going for it. Yep, I've got this. I can do anything I believe I can. I am worthy. Oh, I love them. How different, even just typing. I know, was it Panya, you said brings discomfort. So part of you is feeling discomfort, but I bet there's part of you that actually can get a little bit excited. So when you're typing those beliefs, does it feel like, if that was installed, does it feel exciting? For me, that's kind of like the thing, right? As we said, it's getting the feelings that those beliefs bring. Yes, exactly. And we do part therapy in the hypnotherapy course as well, and parts is something I love, because when you say part of me feels this way, it doesn't feel quite so overwhelming if it's something that's not helping you. Awesome. Okay, so has everybody got a belief they'd like to uninstall and a belief they'd like to install? If you're struggling with anything, just see what your subconscious comes up with. So don't worry too much about this. And then if you have that, I'm just going to invite you all to get somewhere really comfy. If you're not comfy where you are, just find somewhere that you're comfortable. And then when you're comfortable, I'm just going to ask you to gently close your eyes and take a lovely, long, slow, deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just allow your body to start to relax. And just take another lovely, long, slow, deep breath in. And this time, as you breathe out, just imagine a wave of relaxation just flooding through your body, all the way from the top of your head, all the way down through your body to the tips of your toes. Nice. And I'm just going to invite you to focus on your breath. Just breathe in a normal way for you. And just with every breath out, I'm just going to ask you just to say to yourself in your mind, calm. So with every exhale, just saying to yourself, calm. And as you're doing that, just allowing your body to feel that word. Just allowing your body to completely relax around that word calm. You can feel all those muscles just switching off. Just allowing yourself this moment. There's nothing else you need to be doing. There's nowhere else you need to be. Just simply focusing on your breath. Just allowing yourself to feel calmer and more relaxed with every single breath. And maybe as you're doing this, you notice that your breathing gets slower. Perhaps your breathing gets a little deeper. Just allowing yourself these moments to completely and utterly relax. Any thoughts or any worries come to mind, just pop them in a bubble and let them float away. And just simply bringing your attention back to your breath. Nice. Now I want you to take yourself to a beautiful garden. This garden is a private, safe space just for you. I want you to imagine that you're stood at the top of 10 steps that lead down into this garden. However you see or sense these steps in the garden is absolutely perfect. It's a beautiful day. The sky is a beautiful, brilliant blue. The grass below is a vivid shade of green. There's trees and hedges all the way around the edge of this garden, making it that safe, serene, private, safe space for you. And in a moment, we're going to take those 10 steps down to the garden. And with every step you take, you can allow yourself to relax even more. With every step you take, just allowing yourself to sink even deeper into relaxation. Here we go. Step 1. Step 2. Feeling more relaxed. Step 3. Step 4. Deeper and deeper. Step 5. Step 6. Even more deeply relaxed. Step 7. Step 8. So deeply relaxed. Step 9. And step 10. So very deeply relaxed indeed. And now you find yourself standing on the grass in your garden. And a little way in the distance, you can see a bench. Make your way over to the bench now. And as you go, take in the beauty of your garden, the colours of the flowers, the sounds you can hear around you. Perhaps you can hear the birds singing in the trees. Perhaps you can hear the wind rustling the leaves. Or perhaps it's simply the sound of silence. Make your way over to the bench, and when you reach there, have a seat. And now you can completely and utterly relax, sat here in this private, safe, serene space. And as you're sitting here in your garden, I want you to bring to mind the belief that you want to release. The belief that is no longer serving you and you're ready to let go. I want you to allow the belief to come outside of you. See it there in front of you. Perhaps you see the words, perhaps it's a colour or a shape, or perhaps you have a sense of it. However it appears for you is absolutely perfect. See it there outside of you. And before you let it go, I want you to thank this belief. Thank the belief for all it's done to help you, to keep you safe up until now. And then I want you to tell the belief that you're now complete. Your journey with that belief has come to an end. It is now safe for you to let this go. And then I want you to simply let it go. You might see that as cutting a tether, releasing it like a balloon, or just letting it fade away. Watch it as it floats up into the sky, getting further and further away, getting smaller and smaller, until it's disappeared. It's gone. And now a part of you created that belief, a younger part of you. I want you now to invite that younger part of you to come in, the part of you that held that belief. Welcome them in. Let them sit next to you on the bench. And I want you to give them a hug. I want you to tell them that you love them and that it's safe to have released that belief. I want you to thank them for all they did for you. I want you and this part of you to feel the love, feel the safety, feel the lightness. Now that belief is released. So just take a moment. I'll just give you a moment to have a quick wee conversation with this younger part of you. And then perhaps you pop that younger part of you in your heart space. So they're there, safe with you all the time, wherever feels right for you. And I want you to notice the difference. Now that you've released that belief, feel the difference. Perhaps it feels lighter, calmer, freer. And now I want you to bring to mind the belief that you want to install. And I want you just to take a few moments to repeat this belief to yourself. Simply repeat it over and over again. And as you repeat it, I want you to feel those words. Keep repeating them and allow that feeling to build inside of you. And as you're repeating these words, Your subconscious is allowing them to be installed deeply within it. Keep repeating. Keep feeling. You can almost feel the belief being installed. You can feel the feelings that this belief creates being installed within you. And with this belief inside of you, I want you to repeat it to yourself one more time. And then you notice a path opening in front of you. This path is a new path that has opened up with this new belief installed. I want you to take some steps down this path. With this belief installed, I want you to notice how it feels different walking down this path. Notice what you see that is different. Notice what you feel that is different. Notice what you hear that is different. Experience this path with this belief on with all of your senses. Notice what's opening up. Your subconscious has installed this belief deep inside, and each step is easier every single day. How good does that feel? Perhaps the colors just feel brighter, seem brighter. I want you to continue walking down this path with your belief deeply installed. Keep coming down that path and let it bring you back to now, where I will awaken you in a moment. You can take 5 more steps, and with each step you take, you will awaken slightly. And on the count of 5, you will open your eyes, knowing you're still on this path, feeling good about yourself and feeling good within yourself. Here we go. 1, start to feel the energy moving through your body. 2, coming up. 3, lighter and lighter. 4, more alert and nearly ready to open your eyes. 5, opening your eyes, feeling good about yourself and feeling good within yourself.
Wow.
I feel like I got a little bit carried away during that.
I got carried away with you. It was awesome. It was so good. Ah, thank you so much, everybody that did that. If you would like to just write a little message down below about your experience and anything to do with that, that would be lovely. It was wonderful, wasn't it? I feel like I've been on a massive journey, and I'm not quite with it anymore.
There's a lot to put in one hypno. Normally, as I say, I would do it if I was working with a client on that. I'd probably do it as 2 separate ones. But yeah, it's allowing it. That was great.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did. It was really emotional, but lovely, in a really lovely way.
Yeah. Oh, I
So
like that. The way is
yeah.
clear and it felt so good. Yay. Awesome. Very emotional to be with that younger part of me. Yeah, that is a lot of the time the younger part is. And I feel for me, when you're releasing a belief, there is part of you that has been holding on to that for a very long time. And so that part is a bit of an important bit to do. Felt so light. All I saw was white light and so light in myself. Oh, that's awesome. I felt like crying and laughing at the same time. Awesome. That was amazing. Good.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yay. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Excuse me. And actually, it's interesting because there was part of me that came up that remembered the part of me that when I started this course that thought, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to do anything. I would listen to Christine and Daryl's and I'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing. And we all have our own different ways of doing it. Like I'm nothing like Christine and Daryl, and you won't be potentially anything like me. But then also I model other people as well. I think that, well, NLP is like modeling excellence, right? So
Yeah. You take that. I mean, we're on this amazing learning journey, taking bits and pieces
yeah.
of what we think is wonderful and great and good and installing it into ourselves. So
I think
yeah, it's
that's why
beautiful.
this morning thing that you've been doing, I think, is really helpful as well, because it's like, oh, that I really love that. I'm going to try that with my clients, but it'll be slightly different because you'll be you and your energy with it. So I think sometimes it's like, oh, I feel a bit bad because I'm copying. It's like, no, if it worked well for you, take it and make it your own.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. Oh, Han, you did 2 beliefs. Well done. I didn't have trouble with one.
Awesome.
It was interesting because I sometimes find it a little bit difficult to come up with the beliefs because we've done so much work on things, through the course. You examine a lot of things. You go on this huge journey of self-discovery. So I thought, well, I'll just go with the basic. I'm not good enough to I'm more than good enough. And it was just crazy what came up, because you can hold those 2 beliefs quite easily at the same time, whichever one you put your focus on, right?
Absolutely.
So just so nice to be able to see where it comes from and release it so beautifully.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's hopefully set you all up for a fabulous week with your
Yes,
new
absolutely.
new belief installed. Are you uploading this as well, Sarah?
Yeah, I will be uploading this one as well. And so
Great.
if you want to do it again, you're quite welcome to. If you are someone who is just finding out a little bit about hypnotherapy and wants to find out more, there'll be some links below that you can click onto and find out more. If you want to ask Jo anything, feel free to go through the inquiries at hypnotherapy-training.co.nz and I'll pass those on to her. If anyone's got a question now, you can.
Feel free to ask if you've got a
Yeah.
question.
So, Abby, so you can go to it on the YouTube channel. So I will, when we send out, if you got to hear through an email, we'll send out an email with a link to that YouTube channel on it, so that you can click on that and you'll get to do all of the meditations that we've done if you want to repeat any of those again. So wonderful. Thank you so much for all your lovely energy. If you've got any other questions that you want to ask, then feel free to do that. Otherwise, we'll finish up there. Thank you so much, Jo. That was beautiful.
No worries. And if you're in Auckland, I look forward to seeing you next month.
Yeah, next month. And I think we've got a lot of people who are starting at the end of September, because it's the self-hypnosis and
yes,
so there should be a nice group who are starting there. I've got a new group starting in next weekend down in Christchurch. So we've got it's that kind of time of year where we're all kind of like getting into it again.
I know there's quite a few, because I think there's 2 in October, the marketing at the beginning and then weight loss and smoking cessation or habit change at the end of September. So learn more through you. However, I live in Coromandel, logistics are hard. Abby, so you can reach out to Sarah.
Yeah, and I think, with this course, it is nice in that you only have to do 1 weekend per month. So, if you do need to travel, you can spread it out. So it's 1 weekend every other month. So there's lots of ways around it, but yeah, reach out, get in touch if you want to. I'm just going to pop my email address down below, so that if you do want to reach out and you don't know my email, it's inquiries at
Panya's starting at the end of September. Oh, you'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. I really, when I finished the course, I did go back and do some of the weekends again, because I think especially once some of the earlier ones, when I kind of wanted to do it with a more experienced ear. But yeah, it's such a journey of self-discovery as well. I find, I don't know if anyone, obviously there are other people that are on the course.
I think everyone would agree. You come out a different person at the end.
It's awesome. It's amazing. And, you know, the weekends when you get together with all the like-minded people and you just come away from it feeling so amazing, you're going to love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, everybody. It was so lovely to see your faces. And I look forward to seeing you next Monday for another meditation. See you. Take care. Have a wonderful week. Bye.